If you feel overwhelmed and uncertain about money, stop right there. Take a deep breath. You are not alone and you are not stuck. This moment right now is your wake-up call. Money stress is real, it's heavy, it's messy, and it can make you feel like you're drowning. But here's the truth. You have the power to change this. You don't need to be a financial genius. You don't need a fancy degree, and you don't need to have it all figured out today. What you need is to decide that you're done feeling this way. Done with the anxiety, done with the uncertainty, done with the overwhelm. Are you with me? Let's talk about why this feels so heavy. Money isn't just numbers, it's emotional. It's tied to your sense of security, your dreams, your worth. When you feel out of control with money, it's not just about dollars and cents. It's about feeling like you're failing at life. But you're not failing, you're human. And humans, we learn, we grow, we adapt. The fact that you're here listening to this means you're ready to take responsibility for your financial future. That's not failure, that's courage. So what's the first thing you do after you get clear? You take one small action. Not 10, not 100. One. Maybe it's calling your bank to ask about that fee you didn't understand. Maybe it's canceling a subscription you don't use. Maybe it's setting up a savings account, even if you can only put $5 in it right now. Small actions build momentum. They remind you that you're not helpless. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're in the driver's seat. Let's pause for a moment. I want you to picture something. Imagine waking up a year from now, and instead of dread when you think about money, you feel calm, confident, in control. That version of you exists. It's not a fantasy, but it starts with the choices you make today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with action, not perfection, not luck. Now, let's tackle the uncertainty part. Not knowing what to do with money can make you feel like you're wandering in the dark. Should you invest, save, pay off debt? What's a 401k? What's a stock? The options are overwhelming, and the jargon is like a foreign language. But here's a secret. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know enough to take the next step, and the next step is always simpler than you think. Start with the basics. If you have debt, focus on paying off the highest interest stuff first, like credit cards. If you don't have an emergency fund, start putting a little money aside each week, even if it's just $10. If you're clueless about investing, read one article or watch one video from a trusted source. You don't need to become Warren Buffett overnight. You just need to learn one thing at a time. Let's talk about the stories we tell ourselves about money. You know the ones. I'm not good with numbers. Rich people are greedy. I'll never get out of this hole. Those stories, they're not facts. They're beliefs, and beliefs can be changed. If you tell yourself you're bad with money, you'll act like you're bad with money. But if you tell yourself, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm figuring this out, you'll start to see possibilities. You'll start to take control. Here's a challenge for you. For the next week, catch yourself when you say something negative about money or your ability to handle it. Write it down. Then flip it. Instead of, I'm terrible with money, say, I'm learning how to manage my money. Instead of, I'll never afford that, say, I'm working toward my goals. Words matter. They shape your reality. Start speaking like the person you want to become. Now let's get practical. Budgets. I know. Budgets sound like a prison sentence. But hear me out. A budget isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. It's about telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. You don't need a fancy system. Try this. The 50/30/20 rule. 50% of your income goes to needs, rent, food, bills. 30% goes to wants, eating out, hobbies, fun. 20% goes to savings or debt repayment. It's simple, it's flexible, and it works. But here's the key. A budget only works if you stick to it. And sticking to it means checking in regularly. Once a week, sit down for 10 minutes and look at your spending. Did you overspend on takeout? Cool, adjust next week. Did you save more than you planned? Awesome, celebrate that win. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Let's talk about debt, because for a lot of you, it's the monster under the bed. Debt can feel like a life sentence, but it's not. It's just a problem, and problems have solutions. Start by listing all your debts, every credit card, student loan, medical bill. Write down the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Then pick one to tackle first. The high interest one is usually the smartest choice because it's costing you the most. Throw every extra penny you can at it while paying the minimum on the others. Once that debt is gone, take the money you were paying toward it and roll it into the next one. This is called the debt snowball or avalanche method, and it's like a video game. Every time you pay something off, you level up, you feel stronger, more in control, and that feeling, it's addictive. Let's address the comparison trap. You know what I'm talking about. You see your friend's new car, your coworker's vacation photos, your neighbor's renovated kitchen, and suddenly you feel like you're losing at life. Social media makes it worse. It's a highlight reel of everyone else's perfect life. But here's the truth. Most people are faking it. They're in debt, they're stressed, they're just as uncertain as you are. Stop comparing your behind the scenes to their curated facade. Instead, focus on your own game. What do you want? Not what Instagram says you should want. What do you actually care about? Maybe it's a house, a trip, financial freedom, or just the ability to sleep without worrying about bills. Get clear on your goals, because they're your North Star. They'll keep you focused when the world tries to pull you off track. Now, let's talk about earning more, because cutting expenses is only half the equation. If you feel stuck in a job that doesn't pay enough, it's time to think bigger. What skills do you have? What skills could you learn? The internet is a gold mine. Free courses, YouTube tutorials, side hustles. You could freelance, tutor, sell stuff you don't need. Every extra dollar you earn is a step toward freedom. But here's the catch. Earning more doesn't help if you spend more. Lifestyle creep is real. You get a raise, and suddenly you're buying fancier coffee or upgrading your phone. Don't fall for it. Take that extra money and put it toward your goals. Debt, savings, investments. That's how you build wealth, not by keeping up with the Joneses. Let's talk about savings, because it's not just about having money, it's about having peace of mind. An emergency fund is your safety net. It's what keeps a flat tire or a doctor's visit from derailing your life. Aim for $1,000, 0 cents to start, then build up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. It sounds like a lot, but start small. $10 a week adds up. Automate it, set up a transfer so you don't even have to think about it. And speaking of automation, use technology to make this easier. Set up automatic bill payments so you're never late. Automate your savings transfers. Use apps to track your spending if that's your thing. The less you have to think about money, the less it'll stress you out. Let's talk about investing, because I know it's scary. Stocks, bonds, crypto, it's like a casino to most people. But investing isn't gambling if you do it right. Start simple. If your job offers a 401k with a match, take it. It's free money. If you're on your own, open a Roth IRA. You don't need to pick individual stocks. Just go for a low-cost index fund. The key is to start early and let time do the heavy lifting. Here's a quick reality check. You don't need to be rich to invest. You can start with $50, 0 cents. The stock market isn't just for Wall Street bros, it's for you too. Educate yourself, but don't overcomplicate it. Read one book, take one course, talk to someone you trust who's done it. Knowledge kills fear. Let's talk about failure, because you're going to mess up. You'll overspend, miss a payment, make a bad choice. That's okay. The difference between people who succeed with money and those who don't isn't perfection, it's persistence. When you fall, get up. When you screw up, learn from it. Every mistake is a lesson, and every lesson makes you stronger. Now, let's address the people in your life. Money isn't just about you, it's about your relationships. Maybe your partner's a spender and you're a saver. Maybe your parents are pressuring you to buy a house you can't afford. Maybe your friends keep inviting you to expensive brunches. You've got to set boundaries. Have the hard conversations. Say, I'm working on my finances, so I'm sticking to a budget. Real friends will respect that. Real partners will work with you. And if you're in a relationship, get on the same page about money. Money fights are one of the top reasons couples split up. Sit down with your partner and talk about your goals, your fears, your habits. Make a plan together. It's not sexy, but it's intimate. It's about building a future together, not just surviving today. Let's talk about time, because it's your biggest asset. The sooner you start taking control of your money, the more options you'll have later. Time is what makes compound interest work. Time is what turns small savings into big wealth. Time is what gives you freedom. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. There's never a perfect moment. Start now with what you have. Here's a truth bomb. Financial freedom isn't about being rich. It's about having choices. It's about not being chained to a job you hate because you need the paycheck. It's about not panicking when life throws you a curveball. It's about living on your terms. That's what you're working toward, and it's worth every ounce of effort. Let's talk about mindset, because this is where the real transformation happens. You can have the best budget, the perfect investment plan, the lowest debt. But if your mindset is stuck in scarcity, you'll always feel broke. Scarcity says there's never enough. Abundance says I have what I need and I'm building more. Start practicing gratitude for what you have: a roof over your head, food on the table, opportunities to grow. It shifts everything. Now let's get into habits, because systems beat motivation every time. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Habits are what keep you going when you don't feel like it. Make a habit of checking your finances weekly. Make a habit of saving first, spending second. Make a habit of learning something new about money every month. Small habits compound just like interest. Let's talk about fear, because it's the root of so much of this. Fear of failing, fear of not having enough, fear of looking stupid. But fear is a liar. It tells you to stay small, to avoid risk, to hide. The truth? You're capable of more than you know. You're not destined to struggle forever. You're not bad with money. You're just learning, and every step you take makes you better. Here's a practical tip: negotiate. Yep, negotiate everything. Your cable bill, your phone plan, your salary. Most people don't negotiate because they're afraid of rejection. But rejection is just a no, and a no won't kill you. A yes could save you hundreds or earn you thousands. Practice it. The worst that happens is they say no, and you're no worse off than before. Let's talk about generosity, because this one surprises people. Giving, whether it's your time, your money, or your skills, changes your relationship with money. It reminds you that you have enough to share. It pulls you out of scarcity and into abundance. Start small. Donate $5 to a cause you care about. Buy a coffee for a stranger. Volunteer. It's not about the amount. It's about the act. Now let's address the what ifs. What if you lose your job? What if the market crashes? What if you can't pay your bills? Those fears are valid, but they're not destiny. You can't control everything, but you can control your preparedness. That's why you build an emergency fund. That's why you diversify your investments. That's why you keep learning and growing. You're not just reacting to life, you're building a foundation to weather the storms. Let's talk about joy, because money isn't the goal, living is. What's the point of all this if you're miserable? As you work on your finances, don't forget to live. Budget for fun, even if it's just a movie night or a walk in the park. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Find joy in the journey, because that's what keeps you going. Here's the truth. You're not going to get this right overnight. It's a process. Some days you'll feel like a rock star. Other days you'll want to hide under the covers. That's normal. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep taking action, keep learning, keep growing. You're not just building wealth, you're building a life. Let's talk about community, because you don't have to do this alone. Find people who are on the same path. Join a financial education group. Follow money blogs. Listen to podcasts. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. Share your wins, your struggles, your questions. There's power in community. It reminds you that you're not the only one figuring this out. Now let's talk about legacy. What do you want to leave behind? Not just money, but values. Do you want your kids to grow up confident with money? Do you want to help your family or your community? Your financial journey isn't just about you. It's about the impact you make. Start thinking about how your choices today ripple into the future. And let's address the naysayers. You know who they are. The people who say you'll never get ahead, or why bother. Maybe it's a friend, a family member, or even that voice in your head. Tell them to take a hike. You're not here to prove them right. You're here to prove yourself right. You're here to build a life you're proud of. Here's a quick exercise. Write down one money goal for the next 30 days. Maybe it's saving $100, 0 cents, paying off a small bill, or reading a chapter of a finance book. Make it specific, make it achievable, and put it somewhere you'll see it every day. That goal is your anchor. It's what keeps you focused when life gets chaotic. Let's talk about confidence, because that's what this is really about. Every step you take, every bill you pay, every dollar you save, every lesson you learn builds your confidence. You start to realize you're not just getting by. You're building something. You're creating stability, opportunity, freedom. That confidence spills over into every part of your life. Now, let's talk about patience. Change takes time. You might not see results tomorrow or next week, but 6 months from now, a year from now, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Trust the process. Trust yourself. You're not sprinting. You're running a marathon. Let's talk about resources, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are books, podcasts, blogs, and free courses out there that break this stuff down. Start with something simple like the Total Money Makeover, or a podcast like The Money Nerds. Find one resource that resonates with you and dive in. You don't need to consume everything. Just pick one and start. Here's a truth. Money doesn't define you, but it does amplify you. If you're stressed and chaotic, more money will just amplify the chaos. If you're focused and intentional, money will amplify your impact. That's why this work matters. It's not just about getting rich. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Let's talk about forgiveness, because some of you are carrying guilt. Maybe you made bad choices, racked up debt, spent recklessly, ignored your finances. Let it go. The past is done. You can't change it, but you can change what you do now. Forgive yourself, because you deserve a fresh start. You deserve to move forward. Now, let's talk about action again, because it's the heartbeat of this whole thing. I don't care how overwhelmed you feel, how uncertain you are, how broke you think you are. Take one step today. Open that bank statement. Write down one goal. Cancel one subscription. Make one phone call. Action is the antidote to fear. Action is the path to freedom. But let's talk about hope, because that's what this is all about. You're not destined to struggle forever. You're not doomed to feel this way. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's not a train. It's possibility. It's a life where money is a tool, not a burden. It's a life where you call the shots. Here's a final challenge. Commit to this for 30 days. For the next month, take one small action every day. Check your spending, save $1, learn something new, have a money conversation. 30 days of small steps will change how you feel about money. It'll change how you feel about yourself. You'll go from overwhelmed to empowered, from uncertain to unstoppable. Let's wrap this up with a promise. You are capable. You are enough. You have everything you need to take control of your money and your life. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. So stand up, take a deep breath, and decide right now that you're done letting money run your life. You're taking the reins, you're building your future, and nothing is going to stop you. So what are you waiting for? The clock's ticking, your future's calling. Go get it.